January and February, the house was full of narcissus and Roman hyacinths, and their heavy, spring-like odor made a part of the enticing comfort of the fireside there. Where Mrs. Forrester was, dullness was impossible, Niel believed. The charm of her conversation was not so much in what she said, though she was often witty, but in the quick recognition of her eyes, in the living quality of her voice itself. One could talk with her about the most trivial things, and go away with a high sense of elation. The secret of it, he supposed, was that she couldn't help being interested in people, even very commonplace people. If Mr. Ogden or Mr. Dalzell were not there to tell their best stories for her, then she could be amused by Ivy Peters's ruffianly manners, or the soft compliments of Old Man Elliot when he sold her a pair of winter shoes. She had a fascinating gift of mimicry. When she mentioned the Fat Iceman, or Thad Grimes at his meat block, or the Bloom Boys with their dead rabbits, by a subtle suggestion of their manner, she made them seem more individual and vivid than they were in their own person. She often caricatured people to their faces, and they were not offended, but greatly flattered. Nothing pleased one more than to provoke her laughter. Then you felt you were getting on with her. It was her form of commenting, of agreeing with you and appreciating you when you said something interesting, and it often told you a great deal that was both too direct and too elusive for words. Long, long afterward, when Niel did not know whether Mrs. Forrester were living or dead, if her image flashed into his mind, it came with a brightness of dark eyes, her pale triangular cheeks with long earrings, and her many-colored laugh. When he was dull and tired of everything, he used to think that if he could hear that long-lost lady laugh again, he could be gay. The big storm of the winter came late that year, swept down over Sweetwater the first day of March, and beat upon the town for 3 days and nights. 30 inches of snow fell, and the cutting wind blew it into whirling drifts. The Forresters were snowed in. Ben Keezer, their man of all work, did not attempt to break a road or even come over to the town himself. On the 3rd day, Niel went to the post office, got the captain's leather mail sack with its accumulation of letters, and set off across the creek, plunging into drifts up to his middle, sometimes up to his armpits. The fences along the lane were covered, but he broke his trail by keeping between the 2 lines of poplars. When at last he reached the front porch, Captain Forrester came to the door and let him in. "Glad to see you, my boy. Very glad. It's been a little lonesome for us. You must have had hard work getting over. I certainly appreciate it. Come to the sitting-room fire and dry yourself. We will talk quietly. Mrs. Forrester has gone upstairs to lie down. She's been complaining of a headache." Niel stood before the fire in his rubber boots, drying his trousers. The captain did not sit down, but opened the glass door into his little conservatory. "I've something pretty to show you, Niel. All my hyacinths are coming along at once, every color of the rainbow. The Roman hyacinths, I say, are Mrs. Forrester's. They seem to suit her." Niel went to the door and looked with keen pleasure at the fresh, watery blossoms. "I was afraid you might lose them in this bitter weather, Captain." "No, these things can stand a good deal of cold. They've been company for us." He stood looking out through the glass at the drifted shrubbery. Niel liked to see him look out over his place. A man's house is his castle, his look seemed to say. "Ben tells me the rabbits have come up to the barn to eat the hay. Everything green is covered up. I had him throw a few cabbages out for them so they won't suffer. Mrs. Forrester has been on the porch every day, feeding the snowbirds," he went on, as if talking to himself. The stair door opened, and Mrs. Forrester came down in her Japanese dressing gown, looking very pale. The dark shadows under her eyes seemed to mean that she had been losing sleep. "Oh, it's Niel. How nice of you. And you've brought the mail. Are there any letters for me?" 3, 2 from Denver and 1 from California." Her husband gave them to her. "Did you sleep, matey?" "No, but I rested. It's delightful up in the West Room. The wind sings and whistles about the eaves. If you'll excuse me, I'll dress and glance at my letters. Stand closer to the fire, Niel. Are you very wet?" When she stopped beside him to feel